Hi, Dr. Berg. This is Mitchell Turner. I'm group leader for Group 13, and this is our first video update on September 24th. And we've just finished another brainstorming session down here in Riggs Lab, and just thought I'd be able to share with you what we've done so far in the past week. So far, I think we're keeping up very well in schedule. We haven't built anything yet, but we have come up with a lot of very good ideas, and we're trying to balance the pros and cons of all of those and see what we're going to want to do in the future. So far, we have done a lot with image acquisition. One of my group mates has been able to isolate cups on an image using his computer and cameras, and from that I think we're going to be able to go from there and start isolating the individual ping pong balls and be able to see, just with, if you can just tell where the cups are, I think from that you can kind of build a lot of the programming on the game and the strategy around that, and so that's, I think, going to help a lot. We've done a bit of initial price research just to take a look at some of the prices of servo motors, different materials we're going to be using, including, I think, PVC pipes, maybe some aluminum. We're not really sure of anything yet, but we're looking into a lot of different ideas. Some of the ideas we've looked at for design have been how we're going to actually fire the ping pong balls or throw them, or who knows, bounce them from a high place. We haven't picked a specific one yet, but the two that have come up a lot have been kind of a cannon sort of mechanism, kind of like a potato gun. It's rudimentary, but that, or obviously a kind of throwing arm. But we think the arm may be a bit too mechanical, maybe a bit too complicated with the programming aspect, and it may be a lot easier just to use the sort of cannon firing mechanism, and that remains to be seen. We've seen a few other projects from different universities that have used a sort of cannon, but that'll be tested in the future. In addition to that, we have looked at some other universities. A lot have, for some reason, I guess ping pong balls are a very popular sort of project to do for senior design projects, and we've seen at Mississippi State, one video was showing a ping pong ball firing robot, not necessarily trying to get it into cups, but into a certain area, and that was using a cannon cannon that was loaded by a sort of hopper, which we've actually thought of using a hopper similar to a paintball gun's reloading mechanism, that you just put a bunch of balls or some balls into the top, and it from there will reload automatically once one is out of the chamber. That's one of the things we kind of need to look at, is how we're going to do a reloading, and we're thinking of potentially putting a sensor in whatever we use, if it's a cannon or a throwing arm. We'll need to be able to see if there's a ball there and just be able to send a signal that says, okay, we need to reload, and after it's there, to close off the hopper so that we don't have multiple balls in the chamber. We've looked at servo control. We're thinking we're going to need quite a few servos, especially if we're going to be using a cannon, because we're going to have to be able to change quite a few different angles, including the height, the angle of the cannon itself, not only from a vertical standpoint but also horizontal, and just be able to adjust so it can maybe be a bit higher up than the window, maybe lower compared to the window. We're not really sure yet, but that'll be done in testing. One of my group mates this weekend is going to be doing some test firing with a PVC pipe, which is apparently, the one he has is not too much larger than a ping pong ball, so it would suit for a cannon very well. And then next week we're going to be looking further into that, probably looking into if we need to do a sort of 1 or 2 barrel system, just in case we need to fire for a more rapid firing, or if we need to be able to shoot from more angles, in case it's tricky to get from to a farther, an awkward angle to one of the cups. We're also going to be looking into the Q4 board some more. see what we can do with the outputs, if it's going to be practical to be using one output and try to send that out to multiple servos, or if we need to be doing something different. So we can do some testing on that. But overall, our group is working very well together so far, and I think everyone's putting in a substantial amount of work, and looks like should be a successful semester. And I guess somebody else will be updating you next week, but I will be probably doing another one of these in the future. Talk to you later. Bye.